Welcome back to another episode of Ask the Attorney. I'm your host, Alex Alexander with Client Focus Media. Today, I'm really lucky to have Avnish Mangal from Mangal PC. The practice of law is not about the bottom line, it's about the service to your clients. You can find him online at lawbyyourside.com. Welcome, Avnish. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm short, bald, and kind of funny looking, so thank you for asking. So we spoke a little bit before we came on camera here, and I feel like I've gotten to know you a little bit, and I would love other people to know you as well. The first and foremost, right? I ask a lot of people why they got into law from the get-go, right? And some people are like, well, you know what? My dad was a lawyer, my best friend's monkey's uncle, or something happened that made me think about this. What's your short story?
I think I've always been fascinated with sort of the interplay of understanding how law impacts society and then how people can kind of use law as a tool set to effectuate, results. I just really went into it out of academic curiosity and then just happened to, really find it interesting and something that I wanted to continue working in.
Now, was that your first choice when you were in college? You're like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm taking my generals, and then I'm gonna go into this. Was that your first focus?
Yeah, I mean, that was always the large focus. My undergraduate degree is in finance, so a lot of the reason why I pursued that was just to kind of have a better understanding of finance and those types of things. But yeah, I mean, the goal was to always go something law or government focused.
So everybody that knows out there, first of all, Avnish is based here in Florida, so Florida barred. Are you barred in other states, or I know you came from New York at one point, but you're Florida barred?
I am Florida barred. I'm also New York barred. Went to law school in New York,
Okay.
so used to practice there.
So that's actually very helpful for anybody in Florida who happens to have interests outside, and maybe they travel to one or another, which we know a lot of people do. They've shown up in groves in the last couple of years, absolutely. So anybody out there that's in need of, and your primary practice is personal injury. So for anybody in need of personal injury representation, I think you should go to the lawbyyourside.com and of course talk to Avnish. So let's get into this a little bit about some of the differences, the primary difference really between your firm, which would be Mangals PLLC, and someone that's more big and typical. Talk to us about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, our focus has always been just making sure that we get the best results possible for anyone who walks through our door. We don't prioritize cases based on case value or anything like that. And a lot of times, sometimes, I mean, I'll take cases where, the people are assumed to be at fault. But if I hear your story and I understand sort of what happened and I can see that there's truth behind it, we fight every case as hard as we can. But I mean, as far as what really differentiates us from other firms, beyond us being very transparent and you always having an ability to speak with me whenever you want or someone on my team, the biggest difference is probably that we're very hands off when it comes to medical treatment, when it comes to playing some of the other ancillary games that you might hear of within the personal injury space. We're not beholden to anyone. We don't have relationships with other offices or providers or anything like that. We focus entirely on just maximizing results for our clients. And whoever we work with, if we ever catch wind from any of our clients that there was anything, unsatisfactory about their experience with that entity, we basically cut ties. And we've maintained that reputation from the beginning. And so we're, extremely focused on just delivering maximum results for our clients.
So you would consider yourself a litigator, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We file suit all the time.
Yes. Yes. So again, for anybody else out there who's listening and trying to understand what goes down in most cases, the very first thing is always settle, 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 settle. And there's a lot of attorneys out there who really aren't great litigators. They just take what they can and kind of push everything else off. So it's good to see somebody who says, hey, look, we litigate. And this, in my personal opinion, just my humble opinion, is what I look for when I'm speaking to anyone who's representing me, no matter what I'm looking at. So in this particular case, Florida-based and New York-based, if you have a personal injury query of some sort, I highly recommend that you go to lawbyyourside.com and contact Avnish. Is there anything else you'd like to let everybody else know here before we go today?
No, we're open, 24/7. You can get a hold of us anytime. And yeah, we will do whatever it takes to see your case through the end. It doesn't matter if we have to file suit or bring in reinforcements or spend, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. We'll go all the way.
Excellent. So thank you very much for being on the show today. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning into this episode of Ask the Attorney. If you'd like to learn more about Avnish Mangal from Mangal PLLC, you can go to lawbyyourside.com, but also right here at iwantabuzz.com. Do something good for yourself and do something good for others.